So obviously there are some idiosyncratic issues to Southwest, but the partial government shutdown, George, could hit more carriers than just Southwest. Do you anticipate we'll hear from some of the other US carriers on this?
We do, and so we think this news from Southwest today, it has something to do with the government shutdowns. Some of the effect on fares is due to the government shutdown, but we also see too much capacity coming to the U.S. market in 1Q, and so we think some carriers may use this as an excuse to knock down their guidance on gains for fares in 1Q, and we guess that there's probably a little of that inside this Southwest news today.
60 million doesn't sound all that substantial. Put it into context for us. Why should it have such an impact on investors?
Well, again, I think the investors are looking past just 60 million. I think investors are concerned that there is just too much capacity coming to the U.S. market this year, and so they expect that this will persist. Southwest essentially knocked down their guidance by about 1% on fare gains for first Q. I think investors see that rolling through the rest of the market and probably persisting to the end of the quarter. And so the investors think there's more coming besides just this.
George, I'm just curious, sitting outside the United States, does Southwest have a more retail tourist market, and is that market more susceptible to queues at airports, whereas a business traveller may decide that they have to go or they are able to skirt some of the queues? I'm kind of wondering if there's a difference between the types of airlines we're talking about and the reaction to the shutdown.
Yeah, so absolutely. So if you're a Southwest passenger, you may not be they don't have as many sort of business class travelers. They're going to get the special business class queues to get around some of the security checkpoints. And so for sure that probably has more of an effect. These people may not be as tuned into the idea that the government shutdown's over and the queue problem has been fixed. Now they probably know it, but maybe right after the government shutdown was fixed, they probably didn't know it. That could have affected some of their bookings. And leisure travelers usually book well ahead of travel. So, they're looking out 4-6 weeks, and their shutdown of bookings may affect someone like Southwest a little longer. That's a primarily leisure airline.
Now, we didn't hear from some of the other U.S. airlines during the partial government shutdown. At least we didn't hear negative comments. Now, maybe at the time that was the strategy. You put the good face out there and you say that everything is going pretty smoothly. But what other airlines will have been affected by this or will use it as an excuse, George? American, Delta, we've yet to hear from some of these.
Yeah, I mean, we expect that most U.S. airlines won't see fares develop as well as they thought. They won't see the fare increases they thought they'd get in 1Q because of the capacity. So we think this will affect all of them. I think to Guy's point, leisure may see a little more of an effect because, as well, leisure travelers don't have to travel. They're not going out in business. So companies like Spirit, Frontier, could see more of an effect from this, JetBlue, but we expect it will also ripple through American, United, and Delta, probably to a little bit lesser extent.